I have lots of good memories of the first Lion King movie from 1994. I was a teenager at the time, but if you look at its reviews, it's still very highly regarded, scoring 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. So more than 30 years later, I went to watch the third main installment of the Lion King franchise, the photorealistically animated Mufasa, the Lion King, with my children over the weekend. I almost never go to the movies anymore, mainly due to price, but my kids scored some free tickets, and I picked one up for cheap. Just to be clear off the bat, The Lion King is a Disney production, so we have to keep that in mind when it comes to their distorted view on diversity. At Disney, we want everyone to feel they belong. Oh yes, how wonderful. Anyway, after watching the movie, as I would typically do, I jumped online to see who the voice actors were, and I'm not going to beat around the bush here. Mufasa, black. Mufasa as a cub, black. Taka, black. Taka as a cub, black. Rafiki, black. Young Rafiki, black. Sarabi, black. Simba, black. Eshe, black. Obasi, black. Kiara, black. Nala, black. Afia, black. Masego, black. Junia, black. Ajarry, black. Chigaru, black. Mosi, black. Azibo, black. Sarafina, black. And of course, the film's director, Barry Jenkins, is black. As you can see, a hugely diverse cast, not an Asian person to be seen. This is the twisted view of diversity over at the most influential entertainment entity in the world, Disney. Remembering, at Disney, we want everyone to feel they belong, as long as you have the right skin tone. To be fair, there were other characters in the film. Case in point, the evil white lion. I'm not making any of this up, I swear. Kyros. He's the formidable leader of a pride of white lions. I didn't even know there was such a thing. Known as the Outsiders. Guess the ethnic background of the person he's played by. A white guy, of course, Mads Mikkelsen. Only a white male could possibly play an evil character so well. It's in their nature. And to make the relationship between whiteness and evil abundantly clear, the producers had to make the lion white as well. Other characters that have non-black actors include Pumbaa and Timon, played by Seth Rogen and Billy Eichner, respectively. They're kind of like the comic relief of the movie, I suppose. Noting that Seth Rogen has openly supported Black Lives Matter, and when some of his fans criticised his position, he told them to F off and said, "You don't deserve my movies." I presume if he didn't support Black Lives Matter, he wouldn't have got this gig. Billy Eichner is a Democrat and a member of the LGBT community. A bird named Zazu is played by another white guy, Preston Nyman, again another comic relief kind of character. The only other non-black actor I could find was David S. Lee, who plays a baboon named Mobo, a very minor role. So what does all this mean? Well, there's only one of two things it can mean, right? Either black people are very good voice actors who have well and truly earned their place in this movie through merit, or Disney are doing this on purpose. I guess the latter. It's the only one that makes sense. Just as a side note, this movie scored 57% on Rotten Tomatoes, significantly less than the original movie's 93%. Don't worry, this latest edition only cost $200 million, although apparently it's gone on to gross about triple that worldwide. Mufasa is an American movie. If we look at the demographics of the American population, around 12% of the population identify as black, depending on which data you use, but it's around that number. If all things were fair and equal over at equality-obsessed Disney, then there would be some Asian actors, Hispanic actors, American Indian actors, and so on. But there ain't. Some might argue this is a movie set in Africa, so that explains why there are so many actors of African descent, but I would just retort, well, why have any white actors at all? If the intent is that all the animals depicted are African, then why not only have people of African descent? Others might argue that this is about affirmative action, promoting equal opportunities for historically marginalised groups. But are you telling me any of these people are doing it tough? Donald Glover? How much do you think he is worth? $40 million as of last year. Did he need a leg up to help him with his struggling financial situation? Just to be clear, I'm not trying to blame the actors. If Disney offered me a voice role in a movie, well, maybe not me, but if I was a voice actor and they offered me a role, I'd almost certainly take it. Both Beyoncé and her daughter, Blue Ivy, were in the movie. Nepotism, anyone? I mean, how can it not be? There are over 345 million people in the United States. How could it be that both a mother and her daughter, by merit and chance alone, both scored a role in a box office hit? How much do you think Beyoncé's worth? I'll give you a clue. It's more than the population of America. $800 million. Yes, she's worth more than the movie she starred in. Her husband, American rapper Jay-Z, is worth an estimated $2.5 billion. It's bordering on obscene. So basically, over at Disney, diversity has come to mean showing favoritism towards people of certain ethnic backgrounds and relegating white people to evil roles and comic relief, as long as they hold the right political views. That's the current state of play over at Disney. In terms of the movie itself, it was okay, nothing to write home about, although I'm not here to give a review. For the parts I wasn't sleeping, yes, I actually fell asleep a couple of times. I'm not blaming the movie, I was just tired, I think. It was mostly okay. There wasn't too much propaganda, considering it was a Disney movie. I mean, there was no openly LGBT lions or anything like that. I think even Disney know if they pushed that too far, it would have had a huge negative reaction at the box office. I didn't particularly like the use of putting human emotions onto lions. Smiling lions doesn't make much sense to me. When they first mention the white lions, they refer to them as outsiders, who are cruel and evil, and who are bigger and stronger than other lions. Of course, I'm just paraphrasing, I don't have access to the script. Actually, it almost felt a bit racist how they referred to the white lions, or at least xenophobic. Obasi, a leader of one of the prides, clearly said words to the effect, "We do not associate with outsiders," i.e., they may as well have been saying, "We do not associate with white people." I mean, lions. I think the whole scene was a veiled jab at colonization, with the white lions coming in and slaughtering everyone. They made a few small jabs at men. In one scene, they basically state that men lie around all day doing nothing, while the women go out and hunt. They also said male lions never listen, but as I said, they were only small jabs. As a man, I can take it. There was only one scene where the audience actually laughed out loud. One of the male lions is trying to crack onto one of the females. He says, "You smell like a duck. I mean, duck flower." It was kind of funny in the moment, but that was about the only part that was. Look, to be fair, I couldn't care less who plays the roles of animated characters, as long as they fit the part. But clearly, Disney does care. They've gone out of their way in the blind pursuit of diversity to select a cast that in the end isn't diverse at all. The crime they're claiming to fix, they ended up committing themselves. This isn't inclusion. This isn't diversity. This is the opposite.